Hi, class. Nice to meet you officially. I am Professor Fortunatos, and we've had some great discussions online. I've really gotten to know a lot of your voices. But for this upcoming paper, I thought it would be helpful for me to do a little bit of a vlog to help you understand what an expository paper is. Because as I'm reading your paper number two suggestions and your ideas, a lot of you are just leaning towards a persuasive paper, and I want to help you to understand what the differences are between what I'm asking you to do for paper number two and what you already did for paper number one. So, paper number two is an expository paper, and although you may have read my description of an expository paper, let me just share with you some of the key things to keep in mind. An expository paper is a paper that does not require proof, as in support for a position. It requires development, it requires analysis, but the concept of proof to prove a point is more about persuasive writing. So, in the expository paper, you want to be as objective as possible. The best ways to do that are to avoid charged language and biased language. So, by biased, anything that passes judgment or takes a moral standpoint, places blame. For example, in your persuasive papers, you may have said that it's a shame that children are no longer going outside. That's not an appropriate thing to do in an expository paper. In an expository paper, instead of having a thesis statement such as childhood pastimes are changing from um, being outdoors to being inside and inactive or something like that, you might have a bit of a more open thesis statement. So you may say something like, there are many reasons that childhood in modern society is different than it was 20 years ago. You're now opening the door to break something down, to offer analysis. Well, what are the many reasons? What are the things that have contributed to this change? But within that paper, you can't take a side. You can't say whether it's a good change or a bad change. You can't say that it's a shame. So instead of saying that it's a shame that children spend their time indoors, you would explain the factors that have led up to children spending time indoors. And again, you would do it in an objective way. So the language to avoid in an expository paper would be bad, good, better, worse, blame, um, a shame, as we've mentioned a couple times already. Anything that seems to take a position. So another example for what could be a thesis statement for your expository paper would be, let's say we take video games. Instead of saying that video games have multiple health effects or something of that nature, you might say that the effects on, pick a population, so the effects of video games on young people is controversial. Now, what this allows you to do is create an objective discussion about the controversy. Within the paper, you can explain the schools of thought that champion the effects of video games on young people, such as learning benefits, hand-eye coordination, whatever your research shows. And then within the same paper, you can discuss what the concerns are. What are people afraid might be happening as an effect on young people from use of video games? And I wouldn't even use the language of excessive video games. I would leave it very unbiased, an analysis that presents both sides equally and has an opportunity to use research in a meaningful way to add depth to the discussion, because that is the overall goal. I hope that this has been helpful in helping you to better understand the goals of this assignment. As I said, I felt this was necessary It's the first time that I'm doing this for you, but I did feel it was necessary after reading a lot of what many of you are already posting for your paper two ideas. Most of my comments to you have been that your paper topic is too biased, there's just too much language that supports one side. Now, one last thing to mention, when you have a thesis statement like it is controversial or there are many reasons, you don't need to worry about presenting a balanced view. If many of the reasons are positive, and then you have one negative reason in there, that's perfectly fine. If you have a lot of good effects of young people with video games, that's great. And if you have one negative effect, that's fine too. So don't worry about presenting a balanced view. Worry about presenting an objective view. Worry about creating a depth to the analysis where you are using appropriate research that can help you further explain concepts and positions on things that you would not have had access to without the databases and without other people's research and other people's stories and other people's experiences. So again, I hope this was helpful. And if this is necessary, I'll gladly do this kind of thing again. All right. Happy writing.